Okay, so today we have Up the Down Escalator by the Chameleons. So I did a reaction to this band long ago when I forgot about it because I remember getting this request and saying, did I react to them? And I did. I reacted to Swamp Thing. So anyway, we're finally back now after many more requests for them with, like I said, Up the Down Escalator. So let's get into it, talk about it after, and finally come back to this group and let's just freaking go. Let's go.
Staring blankly at me. Oh, I suppose it's just a sign of the times. They tell me tomorrow will never arrive, but I've seen it a million times.
Oh, wait.
I lost my direction while dodging the flash. Oh, give me a hint or something. If I could freeze time at the flick of the switch, I wouldn't hesitate. No, there must be something wrong, boys. Yeah, there must be something wrong, boys. Obnoxious actions, obnoxious results. Yes, and teachers who refuse to be taught. Distorted pictures and dizzy, dizzy people rush by me at the speed of thought. And sit at the tables and throw us a scraps. For Christ's sake, leave me something. And now they can erase you at the flick of a switch. How long must we wait? Oh, there must be something wrong, boys. Yeah, there must be something wrong, boys. There must be something wrong, boys. They're dragging me down.
Okay, so Up the Down Escalator. Ooh, I had to pause there for a cough. Anyway, like I was saying, Up the Down Escalator from the Chameleons, and talking about here with the title, I just love, it's so intriguing, obviously, Up the Down Escalator. And I did see your note here, again, from the research, whatever, looking up the song. Apparently, from Mark, what Mark said, they wanted to name the band, apparently, Up the Down Escalator. If, again, if this is true, but apparently this is a quote from Mark, and, that stayed with him, and, he would name it this title later on, Anyway, and again, it's just Up the Down Escalator, just kind of fun. Anyway, Getting into this music and lyrics and everything, I really enjoyed Mark's voice, and I had to search up his age as well, because, he was born in 1960. This was released in, January 1983, so Mark was probably 22 when he was doing the vocals here, recording the vocals, and again, I don't know what I said, over a year ago about the band, but it's all new to me again. But anyway, I just want to say Mark's voice, because again, for 22, I know people have, deep voices, at early ages and stuff, whatever. But obviously he has a deep, profound, you would say, baritone to him. But again, it's just, I really enjoy his delivery as well, especially in that chorus when he says, there must be something wrong, boys. And again, I love the boys addition just because it makes it more, like he's talking to his friends, he's talking to his lads, whatever. He's talking to his boys, there's something wrong here, boys. Anyway, as a Canadian, it's very Canadian sounding, talking about the boys. Anyway, but yeah, and then, Mark, I just love his, like I said, profound vocals. And again, with his bass guitar, driving bass, I have to look at the personnel here because I don't want to get anyone wrong. So Dave Fielding on guitar. It says Dave Fielding on guitar. Reg Smithies also on guitar. But obviously, I want to say it was Dave on lead guitar, you might say, because it doesn't specify here. It just says guitar and guitar. But anyway, on Wikipedia. But with that opening, obviously, guitar line, and I mean, it's continuous throughout the whole song. It's a marriage made in heaven between the guitars and the bass here, which it sounds dull to say, I guess. I don't know, but it was so nice, such a nice production with Mark's gliding voice, or voice gliding over it or whatever. Because again, it's so crisp and profound, with his voice, and then that guitar and bass with, like I said, the driving bass line through the whole track, was just superb. I mean, my goodness gracious. Anyway, but you go on in here, I probably made the comparison last time, but obviously here with the Chameleons being a post-punk band or whatever, there is a lot of Joy Division that I hear here, yeah. But really what it comes down to is John on drums. I want John Lever on drums here. But he really reminds me of Stephen Morris, and Stephen Morris is one of my favorite drummers of all time. I really enjoy his kind of, you would say, like military kind of approach to the drums, and that's really what I got here with John. It's really kind of straightforward, but so, echoey, I want to say, and it's so loud, and he just, bangs on those drums like no one else, and here, that's what I got from John as well. So I talk about how, I guess, in Joy Division vibes, but it's really just based on John. I mean, you could talk about how Mark also has a deep voice, just like Ian Curtis had a deep voice, but obviously, I would say there's a big difference between Mark and Ian's voice. Anyway, I'm not making the comparable between their voices really. Anyway, just John. But yeah, so I mean, I have to say that's, a big compliment for me anyway, because like I said, I love Steven and I love John's drumming here. That's what I said damn a few times throughout the reaction, whatever, because, it really was down to John. I don't know why, he really just struck me here, and sometimes that just happens, one person strikes me more than another, but again, Mark's voice was very striking too. But I wanted, before getting into some of the lyrics and what talking about the song, I also wanted to say, looking through these comments on YouTube here, about the song, one thing I see keep coming back and coming back up is how underrated these guys are and how influential these guys are, and underappreciated these guys are. I see one big comment with a lot of likes is saying one word to describe the Chameleons would be underrated, and how people were influenced by them, and people some bands might not even know that they were influenced by the Chameleons. Just they don't even know. It's just what they're doing was what the Chameleons were doing, years before. And, I just love to see that, just love to see how people say, this band was so underappreciated. And, if you're listening to them, you're doing a good job, basically. So anyway, yeah, that is just one big thing that keeps coming back to me, that I keep seeing is how great these guys are and how many people don't even know it. So anyway, going on to these lyrics, like I was saying, I mean, Mark's really painting a picture here of, I would say, helplessness is really what comes to mind. I mean, starts off the first verse, I'm gazing at faces staring blankly at me. And again, with the escalator in the title, I'm thinking, is he on an escalator or something, looking at people? Anyway, I suppose it's just a sign of the times. They tell me tomorrow will never arrive, but I've seen it end a million times. Again, I think I said during the reaction there, poetic as hell. Anyway, just like those two lines there. I lost my direction while dodging the flak. Oh, give me a hint or something. If I could freeze time at the flick of the switch, I wouldn't hesitate, no. So again there, just give me something, and how he would go on to say, give us some scraps, give us something for God's sakes, for Christ's sakes, as he says. Again, it seems like he's begging for acceptance, he's begging for, just begging to be, like I said, to be accepted, because he talks about how these people are sitting at tables and throwing the scraps. It seems like the rich are throwing the scraps at the poor. That's what comes to my head. Anyway, going on again, that chorus is such an earworm. There must be something wrong, boys. And again, how he delivers it. And it's just, again, it's so welcoming and warm. I love his voice. Anyway, going on. Again, they sit at the tables and throw us the scraps. For Christ's sake, leave us something. Now they can erase you at the flick of a switch. How long will it take? And again, it seems like they can erase you. It seems like these guys, the Mark and the boys here, are fearful of, we could be erased by these people, whatever, whoever these people are, these people at the tables or whatever. We could be erased and we wouldn't even leave a trace or whatever. No one would even notice. It seems like, again, there's a lot of helplessness here in a world that's gone mad, in a world that's gone crazy or whatever, a world that just nothing matters anymore or whatever. You go to that outro, skip to the outro now, and they're dragging me down, either swim or you're drowned. And I feel like, just for those three last lines of the track, they really sum it up best. I mean, talking about what I've talked about with the song and the hopelessness and the help, no help at all, whatever. It seems like, these people are, Mark and the boys feel like they're being dragged down. It reminds me of, the ELO song, of Don't Drag Me Down or whatever, obviously. Or Don't Bring Me Down, my goodness gracious. But again, the same kind of sentiment here. Just like, they're tired of being drugged down, whatever. And of course, you either swim or you're drowned. You got two choices here. And these guys, again, they're just, they want to go back. They want the world to go back to normal. Because like I said, this world that they're living in the song seems very crazy to them. And they're just tired of, the fearfulness of being erased. They're tired of just being thrown the scraps. It's just like, again, how his anger in the song here, Mark's anger, talking about, for Christ's sake, leave us something. You can really feel his passion throughout the whole track. So anyway, I really enjoyed this. I mean, my goodness gracious. And again, I really enjoyed the sentiment of the song, the meaning and all that stuff. And, again, it's such a great song from, these young, they were just in their early 20s. I mean, my goodness gracious. And talking again about how, they just want to stop being, brought down by all the people. It's just like, and again, I mean, I feel like that's relatable. I mean, no matter what age you are, whether you're in your early 20s or not. So anyway, I guess that's all I can really say. This was a nice return to the Chameleons. Again, it's been so long, I forgot that I did a reaction to them, but finally, we're back, and it was very nice. And I really enjoyed the Joy Division influences, but again, they influenced so many other people themselves too. And I loved it all over. My goodness. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. Really appreciate all the support, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.